Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name's Emily and today I'm here to talk to you about BookTok, BookTube, popular books. And when it comes to these platforms and the book recommendations that are the most commonly recommended on these platforms, there is no shortage of discourse and there's no shortage of opinions on the type of books, the titles, the authors that are recommended and talked about on these channels. I feel like people either really love to be in the know and read what other people are reading, or they love to be contrarian. Some people love to do both, and I'm not here to be a hater. That is not my job. But I do have several thoughts about BookTok and BookTube. Because I like to be in the know, I am the type of person that will pick up a super popular BookTok book because I want to know what the hype is about and I want to join the conversation and I want to have an opinion. So that has led me to pick up several books by Colleen Hoover, Taylor Jenkins Reid, Emily Henry, all of those really popular books. Like, I have read and explored all in them, and there are some that I've read that I have been obsessed with, and there are some that I've read that I have absolutely hated. So my original question was, what do all of these books have in common, and why are they specifically climbing to the level of fame that they are? Like, what makes a viral BookTok book? But I feel like that wasn't really the question that I wanted to dive in and answer. The question that I was more curious about from a personal standpoint was, what do I think makes a good BookTok book? And what are the elements that all of the BookTok books that I have really liked, what do all of those books have in common? So this video is going to be part discussion on the super popular book recommendations and what I think about them, but also part what I like in a book, so that way I frame things from more of an opinion instead of saying this is bad and this is good. So I can kind of tell you like what I love in a book and what I think that certain BookTok books that are popular do really well and why I think that people love them. There are so many elements that can go into a book and so many different things that an author can do well. There's the characters, the world building, the plot pacing, the plot twists, side characters, romance, there's different tropes, there's plot lines, there's subplots, the writing style, the descriptiveness, the types of adjectives. There's so many different things that if you were to write a book, you could be like, oh, I want to be really strong with characters, or I want to be really strong with this. There's just so many things that go into it, you know? And I feel like there are some common threads in the good BookTok books. So I have 5 things that we're going to talk about. And if you see me looking in my journal, it's because I outlined this video in here. It literally looks like that one meme of that guy with all of the like strings, the bulletin board. I don't know where it's from, but I'm going to put a picture of it because that's what I feel like this, like I was like drawing lines to things, and because there's a lot of overlap and whatever. First, complex characters and emotional depth. I like to feel emotionally attached to my characters, and this doesn't necessarily mean that I want to love them or agree with everything that they do, but I do want their actions to be logically backed up based on their backstory, based on, you know, who they are as a person, what we've learned about them. Like, I want the characters to be well fleshed out and I want them to make sense based on the things that have happened to them. I want to see like where they got to a certain thought and why are they thinking this way, and I want them to have emotional depth. I have a pet peeve, and that is miscommunication, and when characters' miscommunication drives a lot of the plot, I tend to kind of fall out of the book because I think that that's just something that would be such an easy fix. So when that's like a big part of it, I really don't like that, even though you could argue that that is still a way to show emotional depth and a way to create complex characters. I don't like that. Some books that I thought did really well with emotional depth and complex characters were The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath, Hello Beautiful by Napolitano, and Daisy Jones and the Six by Taylor Jenkins Reid. A couple of BookTok books that I feel did a poor job of this are Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover, and then a book that I didn't finish called The People We Meet on Vacation by Emily Henry. I found the people in The People We Meet on Vacation, the characters, to be very annoying, and I could not get past like the second chapter because I just was like, I can't have a book focused on these people. I hate them. Next ingredient that I really like in my book mix is rich world building. A great example of this is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. Say what you will about that series and that author, that world, I felt like I was in the world with those characters. I felt like I was visiting on a vacation the world that these characters were living in, and that's what I want in a book. I want to feel like I am on a vacation when I open the pages. I want very vivid imagery. I want to feel like I am just like, I can't think of any other way to say it than to feel like I'm traveling to the book. Like I want to live there with them and just be so ingrained in the world. In addition to A Court of Mist and Fury, I feel like another good book that did great world building that wasn't a fantasy was Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin. Another element that I really love in my books is a really engaging writing style. I feel like a writing style that I don't vibe with is one of the quickest ways to take me out of the story. To me, I do lean on the side of really liking very flowery prose in my writing, and I know that some people are the exact opposite. Like they want their writing style to be more cut and dry and just tell you what you need to hear. I love when authors use descriptive words and create a sense of whimsy in their books. A book that I feel like did a great job of this is Caravel by Stephanie Garber. I can definitely see why someone would freaking hate that book. Like reading it, I was like, totally, if someone gave this a 1 star and said I hated the way that the author wrote, I would have been like, I hear you, like I get it. I just completely disagreed. The way that the colors were used and the way that things were described just made me feel like it was 2014 and I was on Tumblr reading things about the rest is rest and stardust, even though that's like a freaking quote from Lolita. I love beautiful, poetic language throughout my fiction books. Another element that I feel like goes into a great book talk book is strong themes. I want there to be discussion questions somewhere online about the book that delve into the themes and the way that the themes were woven in through the story and what they mean and all of that. Like I want there to be some substance and a point to the story. And I think that themes create that without having to be so obvious, if that makes sense. Some of my favorite themes to read about in books are morality and ethics, gender roles, power dynamics, love, loss, learning, family, just like certain themes like that. And when books have strong themes that I like, I tend to really enjoy the book, even if things aren't as fast-paced or if we don't get to know the characters as well. Having those themes can really redeem a book for me. It's like kind of make or break along with the writing style. Books that I feel did a great job with having themes that I personally really love were Circe by Madeline Miller and The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes by Suzanne Collins. I loved the themes in those books, and I could go to a book club and sit and talk about love and loss and backstories. Like it would just be, there could be questions built out of them. I could journal about them, and they explored the themes really, really well. I made a whole video about The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes and the themes that I loved in that book that I'll link in the corner. The last element that I really love in a popular book talk book, or really any book, but you know, we're focusing on book talk, is good plot pacing. The book doesn't have to be plot driven, because there are books that have lacked in plot. Like I would say Circe is one of the books that really doesn't have much of a plot that I loved anyways, because it did so many of the other elements well. So plot is kind of one that if a book is missing complex characters, I want the plot to be really strong and really interesting. But if a book is so strong in other elements, plot can kind of go out the window and I'll still enjoy it. But I love like a really well-paced book that you're reading and just makes, the pacing just makes sense and you're not bored. A book talk book that I hated that does what I think is a very poor job of plot pacing and having a compelling plot is Normal People by Sally Rooney. That is my unpopular opinion. That was a 1-star book for me, and I just felt like the characters lacked emotional depth and the plot was not interesting at all, and there was a lot of miscommunication. So because of those things, I really did not enjoy that book and wish that I could have gotten my time back, honestly, when I finished it. I want to finish this video with a book that I feel did well on all of the above, and that is Taylor Jenkins' Reid books. I feel like she had like a before and an after with her books. So like Evelyn, Hugo, Daisy Jones and the Six, Carrie, Soto is back, Malibu Rising are the after that she did really well when she kind of layered the historical fiction in. I didn't love her just romance books that were kind of before that era of hers, but I feel like she definitely hit her groove. Another book that I feel did a great job with this is The Nightingale by Kristin. That was just a perfect book. That's all I have to say about it. I would also say Ninth House and Hellbent if you're looking for kind of a duology. I think that might become a trilogy, but currently a duology, more fantasy. Those books I think did all of the above really well. And then The Secret History I feel did a great job on all of the above, but there was a bit of a slowed down plot towards the end. So like almost all of the above for The Secret History. But those are some popular books, and the things that I feel that they all have in common that did a like really good job. I love to be respectfully challenged and disagreed with, so if you loved any of the books that I cited as bad examples, or if you hated any of the books that I cited as good examples, let me know in the comments. Let's keep it a safe space to be nice to each other, but everyone that I've encountered on YouTube so far has been lovely, so I trust that we can have meaningful discussion on these controversial books. I would love to make more content like this because it's really fun to discuss what's popular, why people are talking about it, and I love doing it from the lens of, you know, not being so like, I hate this. It's like more of like, why did I hate this? Why did I like this? I think those conversations are so much more interesting than someone just saying, oh, this is a 1-star book. I'm like, but why? Why didn't you like it? Because if I can know what you didn't like about it, then I can recommend you a better book that does a better job. Because while the things that I like in a book might be completely opposite of what someone else likes in a book, and so we might just be totally different target audiences and have totally different tastes, but understanding each other's taste, it's easier like to break things down and think about things more objectively so you can understand like what you'll like in the future. So thinking about all the things that I like, I know when I go and read a review of a book that's popular, I know what to look for and what will make me either love or hate the book. So let me know in the comments what you think about popular BookTok books. Let me know what you think the worst and the best ones are. That would be fun. And then also let me know what elements you love in a book. And if you have any ideas of what all of these books from A Court of Thorns and Roses to It Ends With Us have in common, let me know, because there's got to be something that propels them forward. And I know part of it's marketing. Don't even get me started. But all of it's super interesting. At the end of the day, I love that we are talking about books on the internet. I think that that's a great use of the internet. And I respect everyone's opinions, even if they're wrong. Thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day, week. I appreciate, as always, all of the comments, all of the interactions. You guys are amazing and I love you so much. Bye.